to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of the Cinementalists in 2024. It is New Year's Eve, and we are going to celebrate the year with one of our mutual favorites from it. Today, we are discussing Challengers. It was released on April 26th of this year, 2024, written by Justin Kuritsky and directed by Luca Guadagnino. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And a long time coming, us discussing this movie. Me and you have been discussing it off mic for about 8 months now. It's been not far from the mind at any given moment. How do you feel about Challengers? How many times have you watched it now? What was this for you?
This is 3, surprisingly. There was only one viewing that was done post-theater, and it was done relatively close to the viewing.
Right.
I feel like, well, once it was just, I guess, released on streaming, I think I hypothetically might have downloaded this one to watch
it was on
but,
Prime, and you downloaded it on Prime so that you could watch it offline. Yeah,
exactly.
I know what
True.
you mean.
I definitely subscribed to Amazon Prime to watch this.
Yeah.
But now, I guess legally, we do actually have that subscription. So that is how I watched it this time, through actually the legal route, the nice school discount that Amazon gives you. That we figured out. So I guess, but no, this one, a third viewing, but I don't know. It's just that like Holdovers, like we just covered, it got more visually appealing and more like visually, like I noticed camera movements and just kind of the cinematography of it all. But then, I don't know, I feel like this movie's just the story. It's all about the story and all about just the 3 characters, just the triangle, just everything about it, and it just never gets old. I don't know. Yeah, every watch, it just kind of just spices up even more. Like you notice just a little more intricacies that they have every watch, or just little facial movement, or no, little just the itty bitty things,
little choices. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I love this movie. I saw it. I have the Letterboxd logs right here. I've got it on April. I saw it on April 28th in theaters. I believe we attended that together, if I'm not mistaken. And then
that's right.
And then I saw it on April 29th also. So me and Emily were like, "You want to go back and see Challengers again?" And we both went back. And then I've watched it twice since the theater. So it's the most I've watched a movie in 2024. Also, it is the most revisited of the year for me. So it feels fitting that we are capping the year off with that film. I do love it. It's I'm a big Zendaya fan. I have been for a while, and getting that backed up by a couple stellar performances in the year 2024 with her role as Chani in Dune 2, and then this. Really, really hit for me. You know, I've been a fan of Zendaya. I mean, shit, since I was like 13 or 12, watching the Disney Channel with like Shake It Up and shit. But no, anyway, not truly, but I was there. I was there. I remember it all too well.
Is that a
yeah?
I had that on the playlist too. So without knowing it, big Zendaya fan. Huge Zendaya fan from the start, but. Sorry to cut in there.
I've been around. But then, Euphoria came around and she burst back onto the scene. And it was like, holy shit, she's got chops. She wins an Emmy or 2 and you're like, okay, she's the shit. Let's get it then. And here we are now in the golden age, Spider-Man and Dune and Challengers. And this was the first time I feel like she got a chance to really, really do the thing. She's not playing second fiddle to Spider-Man. Or Paul Atreides in a movie, a big old fucking film,
If anything, 2 dudes are playing second fiddle to her. This was time to put her up on her pedestal. And man, when anyone's known by just one name, that's
right.
You just kind of got it going. Adele, Zendaya, Beyonce. Well, I guess I don't know, kind of weird Beyonce now. I don't know, stuff coming out, but who knows? I don't know. Just one name.
Right.
It's really just powerful. I don't know. I think that's
Rihanna. Yeah.
true. Just power move. But no, she is kind of the power of the movie, and I mean even the story too. Like that is just how Art or Patrick have their spark. Like it is just through I guess character talking now. But
Yeah,
like
Tashi.
man, it's just I don't know. It more I guess the first two watches I was kind of a little anti Tashi at the end. Not gonna lie, I kind of not like villain really, but just kind of like I more wanted Art and Patrick to kind of like I cared more for their immediate future, and then Tashi kind of felt like she was in this weird I don't know gray area the first two
Mm-hmm.
watches. But I think on this one, I think I finally come to it. I think I've had the realization that it's just they just all three they all three just need to be together, and
Yeah.
they've come to
Yeah.
the ultimate realization point of
Yeah.
what they
No,
need
it's
from each other. But
they've got they've obviously got a complicated thing going on.
mm,
All
mm-hmm,
three of them are into each other in some capacity, in
mm-hmm,
very, very varying capacity. Also, like there's just like this
mm-hmm.
raw, unfiltered understanding of who the other is between Patrick and Tashi, and Art is just pathetic for Tashi, just so down bad it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And like he says, who wouldn't be? Um,
Yep.
and then their thing is just a little confusion, is all. Like just kind of
Mm.
like, well, we've been friends all our lives, and you know, is this that? Is this that? Is this where we're taking that? It is a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they that realization at the end just kind of like oh yeah, no, we're cool, this should all be
Mm-hmm.
fine now.
For a
um
moment there, a little the first time that Art actually got like real pissed, but it was just for a brief 30 seconds, I feel like. And he let that one serve go, that one little fault, and
yeah,
blazed it past his head. But then, man,
and he
they were just
screamed.
yeah, they were
I've
just
never seen anything like that.
ooh, man, okay, yeah, okay, wow, yeah. This is it. Really, it's not like I see the ending more as like this is like their almost beginning, like kind of like this the
It's a
we
beginning again. Yeah.
and we kind of watched the prequel of them finally understanding each other. But I love the like I kind of looked into how other people saw and like took the ending, and a lot of people are like, yeah, well, Art wins the match at the end of the game, so obviously Art wins. And it's like, well, I mean, for one, they were like on the tiebreaker, and this was the first point of the tiebreaker that they were doing. The game's not even over at the end of the movie. This was literally the first point of the tiebreaker, which I didn't even
That's
actually
true.
realize.
Yeah,
So
I've never
so
clocked that. That's
the
so
game the
funny.
game isn't even close to over, but it feels over because of the
Hmm.
moment. Like just that, I don't know. It's just that's all that needed to happen. So like even
Well, and maybe that's a really good sign for the movie, is that it has been entirely about tennis. Are we still
hmm
talking about tennis? Yeah, what the fuck else would we be talking about?
hmm
All that good stuff. I have nothing else to talk to you about. There's so many just paralleling moments between all three of them at any given time. Whenever Tashi's on top of him and they're talking about Art the entire time they're making out, by the way.
uh,
They're just like, yeah, he's
uh-huh.
really good at tennis and he's talented and he's smart, and like all this stuff. Oh yeah, he's getting really good, and and they're like, wait a second, why are we still talking about tennis? And then she, what else would we be talking about? And
hmm
then later in the sauna, whenever he's like,
mm.
can we talk about something else? And Art's like, what the fuck else do I have to talk to you about? Like it's a good. I love the parallels, and there's a lot of them. The gum spitting out in the other's hand
Mm.
and stuff, and
hmm Oh
just
yeah.
it's good stuff. And I love that they all have their own thing. Like Josh O'Connor,
hmm
Patrick is on the receiving end of both of those. What else would we be talking about? Comments. He's on the
mm.
receiving end of that. Art is the one spitting his gum out into the other's hands.
hmm
Like he's a little bit more of the sub, and they kind of dominate him. That's their duty with him. I don't know. I love that sort of thing, and I love that the end you pointed out that's the first point of the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the game not concluding is a good sign for it's no longer all they have to talk about, like the
Yeah.
game doesn't resolve itself. They've already resolved things outside of it. Maybe there's something there, but I've always loved the ending. I think the ending is the most electrifying 10-ish minutes
Ooh.
of a movie this year.
Mm.
Um,
Come on. I mean, yeah, there was.
dude,
I mean, it's tough to pick another scene. Like I say this every time I pick the ending of a movie, but I hate to pick the ending of a movie. But
feels like a
man,
cheat. Yeah,
yeah,
but no,
this is.
it's that good. It's that
Ooh,
good.
I mean, some people don't like the time jumps and all the back and forth, but it just like it makes the ending that much more worth it. I think it just like
Mm.
it's all building up to this one climax of a moment, and then I don't know, it is kind of left not necessarily truly open ended, but at least over the span of 3 watches, I've actually like changed my viewpoint
Oh
on
yeah.
how I see the ending, and I think it at least Patrick and Art, like it. I mean, it felt like I don't know. That's kind of just guaranteed. Like them just understanding each. I mean, they embrace in like one of the coolest like jump spike tennis hugs of all time. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was just kind of quite the moment. But
Ooh.
um,
And
mhm.
you pointing out that the game's not over really adds a layer to Tashi's yell at the end too. Um, because now she's not worried about who's
Mm.
winning and who's losing, She's
Oh.
just happy to see what's happening.
Oh my,
Um,
yes, they were just playing good tennis. They were just
they were just playing.
actually
I just want to
playing
see some good
tennis.
tennis.
And boom.
Which is why my favorite scene is the first hotel room interaction between all of them.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
Now, obviously, there's a lot going on here, but on this watch, it's solidified more than ever for me that scene is literally the entire movie stuffed into one scene. Like the entire dynamic, everything everybody
Hmm.
has going on, all in the same room for the only time in the movie, aside
Mm.
from when they are um on this at the same court at the end of the movie. Like
Okay.
they don't share the screen besides that, all three of them. And out by the
Oh.
pool and outside after the party and stuff. That's the last time I should say that they share the screen in any meaningful capacity, because they do also have the brief, Patrick, get the fuck out, that whole
Okay.
thing.
Wow, but yeah, that is crazy to think of how little time they actually have on the screen altogether. Like, man,
Mhm.
when they, I guess after this moment, wow, like yeah, on the beach, like them just talking. That
Mhm.
was, and then
Yeah,
from
we get
this
the
moment, yeah, and
crucial
then
tennis as a relationship monologue and
wow,
all that good
oh
stuff.
man, yeah, this what
Um,
a prime part of the movie. Like, I mean, it's just
oh, dude,
cooked.
and that's why like I I was able to notice this movie's flaws perhaps a little bit more than I ever have been on this watch, just because we were getting ready to talk about it, and I'm ready to,
Hmm.
I don't like to blind myself. I like to be open to people's criticisms, hear them, and kind of understand what they do and don't like about the movie. And the thing I've always heard is the editing.
Mm.
Um, I don't take an issue with the editing. I don't take an issue with and I mean story editing. I don't take an issue with the bounce back and forth. I don't
Hmm.
mind the time jumps. I think that makes everything pay off the way you said earlier. It makes it pay off in a major way. I think they do a
Hmm.
really good job of being careful where they are going back to. It never feels purposeless. It always feels like it's the right
Hmm.
thing to do and it's the right scene to show. Like when it comes to editing, one, I have more issue with in scene editing than I do
Mm.
story editing. There's a moment that specifically just grates me so bad because it sticks out like a sore thumb. And like, it's just, it's the moment whenever, and it's an important scene, and I'm sure we'll talk about the meaning of it because the open ending of like, is Tashi, what's Tashi's deal at the end
Hmm.
of this? Whenever Art is like, just hold me until I fall asleep, and the
Hmm.
the whole scene that's leading up to that, and whenever he goes from his standing position and bends over the bed to like kind of grab her knee and hold her
Hmm.
hand,
Oh yeah.
there's like 6 cuts. Um,
Whoa. Really?
it like it's like him, her, him, and then like 3 cuts as he is slowly inching onto the bed, and I'm like, and it's not noticeable until you notice it, really, you know. And I think that's kind of editing in general, is that like if it slips by you, it slips by you, but like once you notice that there is something that you feel is not fitting, you can't not see it anymore. And it's like there's probably one less cut we could have done there at least. And 6 is probably an exaggeration. There's probably 4, but it's such a brief moment that it does not require all of that. And it's just it's the worst example of it in the movie. It's never that bad anywhere else, but that's that was one of the things I was like, oh, you know, I could do a little bit.
Yeah.
Like my scene, the one in the hotel room, is extremely well edited. I love the way that scene is formatted, and the way they cut between everybody, and the looks that they share, and the looks that they are serving in private and to themselves, and all this good stuff. Because one of my favorite moments that gives Josh O'Connor my performance. I fucking love Josh O'Connor. Holy shit. But the moment specifically that I was like, yeah, I don't know how to go with anyone else, is whenever Zendaya goes, so how often does this happen? And Art goes, what are you talking about? And the look of just utter fucking disappointment and longing on Josh O'Connor's face is uncanny, dude. He just like stares off into the distance, and he sucks his teeth a little bit, like a lot less than I would like, you know. It's
man, no, I don't know. This watch got me like, I want to watch La Camera again. That's a movie that's just been on the rewatch kind of calendar for a while.
Yeah, I need to get back around to it.
And just seeing him, man, I couldn't really, like, no way, like Mike Faced, or is it Faced or Fast?
Yeah,
I think
Faced.
Faced. He does great in the role, and like he plays the role he's supposed to play, but like he can never really take charge, and like he is always kind of back and reserved and
he's the
playing
sub.
the sub, but so like he never really gets that chance to go. But man, does Josh O'Connor just like in that scene,
you bring up a really good point. When the time that he does take control, it's one of the most impressive points in the movie for him. You know, like as an actor, Mike Faced, like his whenever he does let loose on that serve and he screams, and the moments leading up to that too, whenever he's like he's taking it all in, when he walks over and he like kind of stares at Tashi for a second, and he kind of like scoffs, and then he like looks down. That moment when he's looking down at the camera and his sweat's dripping and stuff, like we always get so caught up in the fact that is a brilliant shot. Sayambu Mukdapram as the cinematographer is fucking incredible. He also shot Trap earlier this year, which if you have anything good to say about Trap, it's the way at least it's the way it looked. The guy can shoot a fucking movie. And so we always get so wrapped up in that is such a good looking shot and such an intense moment, and it's coming in the middle of this great moment in this scene. Mike Faced is doing a really, really good job of serving that intensity, of making you realize just how much weight this moment has for him. And so like, I never want to sell Mike Faced short, but yeah, he is, if there's a third fiddle of the 3 here, it is sadly him.
Yeah.
But the role just kind of calls for that.
Yeah. Josh O'Connor is just kind of, I guess he gets to also show a lot more sexiness and just a lot more just how sex is just kind of usually done. I don't know. I guess, well, not to call
he's oozing. He is oozing sexual charisma. Yeah.
The
like
dude,
it's not even
them in the dorm room. Them just, I don't know. Like they make out. It's just like raw. I don't know. It's just like pure. Like we're just going for it, you know. And just they're both in the moment. And man, just it's crazy. Like that actors just go to work. Have this chemistry.
Well, and that's what's
people,
great. Like one thing that occurred to me, and like, I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, your boyfriend needs to be worried, etc. Like Tom Holland obviously has nothing to worry about. I don't actually think that there's anything like that at all going on. But that last makeout scene on the car, dude,
I'm
sorry, Tom ain't doing that. That ain't happening with Tom.
Like the freaking hands against the car, the freaking just every little
the
thing.
full fucking tongue licking
Yeah.
each other's lips.
That-
Like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hot. It's really intense.
Whoa.
And I think that that's, you know, one thing that I think it's always really greatly disputed is how sexy this movie is, because it was kind of touted as this year's sexiest movie. You know, sex was back in films, and it's, you know, there's no sex scenes in this movie.
Nope. Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I think it makes a really interesting point about the fact that sex scenes aren't what makes something sexy. You know, sex scenes can be sexy, but it's the tension, man. And the tension that all of them have, that all of them possess for each other, is unbelievably well done. Just the longing glances and moments that you know, one of the people isn't looking. Like whenever the first time Patrick tells Art that he slept with Tashi. And he puts the racket in the neck of puts the ball in the neck of the racket, and he serves it to him, and Art kind of smiles at him, and then he turns around and his smile falls. And there's that, like, again, a great moment for Mike Feist, where he's providing this moment where you can tell he's jealous of him, you know, for sleeping with Tashi at all. He's envious of Tashi for getting to sleep with Patrick.
But it's also hot.
And also, he's like pissed that this guy can serve normal also, by the way. You know, he's like, so you don't have to do all that shit you do, huh?
Yeah, you can really do my serve. Like that, damn, I didn't even think about that part. But I think also, like, through his head, he's like, man, it's actually kind of hot. Like that I feel like,
100%.
that's just part of his thing, is that he doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't seem to be providing much of the sexual pleasure to Tashi. If I had to guess,
not by
if I
any
had to guess
stretch of the
on
imagination.
every, I don't know how they're doing. That's why I think.
I mean, it's really, really, really clear that the only reason Tashi goes and sleeps with Patrick that night is because Art didn't follow through on what it seemed like they were heading for earlier in the night. You know, like he shuts it down and is like, just hold me until I fall asleep. And she's like, well, I'm going to go get my rocks off. Okay.
Yeah. With I don't know. And seeing him just, well, I guess the part of the timeline that actually, confused me maybe on the first couple watches that I crystallized, was whenever they're in, I forget where
Atlanta?
they are. Atlanta. Like that I thought was happening in, like, current, I guess, like, time that he slept with her.
Oh, you thought that was at the,
like, very,
at
very
the Challenger.
close.
Yeah.
But that, so this time that it solidified that, which I was like, okay, no, this makes more sense. And the clear tell, oh yes, it's when they're in the sauna, because he says,
Yeah, did she tell you about Atlanta?
and he's like, well, that's when we were teenagers. And then, like, and Patrick looks up and he's like, teenagers. And then it goes back to him when he, you know, fully clean shaven.
Yeah, not
in Atlanta.
teenagers anymore. They are grown men, and this was 8 years ago. Yeah.
But he still was clean shaven, I guess, in Atlanta. And, like, that's kind of what attracted, you know, they had that look out the window or whatever. And kind of, he was like, oh man. Like, I mean,
he's wearing her old shirt.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. That dude. I mean, come on. How do you, Art says, how do you look at Tashi and then not fall in love? Kind of true, but then how do you not look at freaking Patrick? Just like, he's not even wearing anything that attractive. He's just wearing the I told you shirt, and that's it. And, like, the dude just,
and you're like, man, this guy's hot. And like, the moment that, again, just the tension building. Whenever he walks in, they don't say anything other than, you know, the stuff about the grandma, which is hysterical. In the most fucked up way. It's funny, but
then let's make out immediately after I just told you that Art's grandmother died of a stroke.
And the build up to it, though, like when he sits down and he's staring at her, she tries to break the tension by taking a drink, and he doesn't let her.
Yep. Nope.
Like,
he just puts it down.
That's hot. You know, like, that's hot, and that's what they all need, is that she needs somebody who challenges her. Challenger, sorry. Didn't mean for that to happen, but she needs somebody who challenges her, but she also needs somebody who is subservient, like
she needs to
Art.
control. Yeah, she needs the power.
Yes,
she loves
she needs to
the
control,
coach.
but she also needs that dispute, you know? And so, like, that's why I'm like, when it comes to the literal relationship dynamics of what this polyamorous throuple would look like, I don't know what that would particularly look like. But all I know is that it's what, at the very least, they need to give a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to take that, they need to try that once, for at least a little bit and just see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the daughter, I don't know, to have a daughter, that kind of does throw a little, like, if there was no daughter at all, and it was just still them three, you know, just chilling, whatever. I think it's just kind of, well, yeah, they're going on and they're doing their thing. But then I think that's the one, like, how do you tell your daughter, you know, like, hey, there's just this other guy that's going to be coming into the house, living with us, by the way. Don't worry.
You know, I think
Dad
it's just,
too.
it's one of those conversations you got to have.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
if that's what you want, that's what you know, you got to tell the kids somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, but
yeah,
it's
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's by no means simple. It's definitely a complicated situation, but it's definitely, I mean, it's a thing. There are people who have to have this conversation.
Yeah, I guess not like polyamory is a new thing. It's not like
no,
this
not,
movie
not a new
is
concept
the
at
first.
all.
Yeah, so I guess maybe. I mean, it just foreign and new to me. I guess you know. It's just like,
I mean, like, because I mean, frankly, I have a tough enough time wrapping my head around monogamy.
like
Even though I'm an extremely monogamous person, it is still bizarre to think about the idea of spending your entire life with one person, no matter who you are.
That's
like
true.
That's a
It
like,
is weird.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I'm 24 years old. I'm pretty sure I'm with the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. And then to think about, like, if I live my lifetime that I've already lived again, I won't even be 50.
Damn. Oh my god. And then that's
like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
No, I don't
you know,
like to
so
think
like,
about it.
and that's simultaneously reassuring and daunting. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I have all the time in the world, but also like, oh my god, I have all the time in the world. That's fucking horrifying. But like, so I have a tough enough time wrapping my head around monogamy, and then to be like, okay, but we are going to try this, you know, throw another person in the mix. That's got to be an even more complicated situation, no matter how you slice it.
I think I'm having a heart attack no matter what. I don't know. I don't think my heart could handle it. That's just.
I don't think my heart could handle being in the room with Patrick and Tashi. I'll tell you that much.
That's true. That. Whoa. I mean, to have questions if this movie was hot or not is kind of crazy. I mean, like, there's literally just Mike Faced and Josh O'Connor looking at each other with churros in hand and just the churro dust all over. Like, just literally that shot right there. In just one, that's all, I don't know. That it's just, you're right, and it is just the tension. It is how close they are, but nothing is happening. It's just that they're talking really, really close to each other, but they are. I mean, the gaze that they both have, and just it's always a buildup. It's always like, even in the college dorm, it's like about to build to a sex scene, but then nope, it ends with a fight. You know,
I don't want to be a homewrecker.
And whatever. So. And then the injury. Man, did that just hit so much harder on this watch too?
The injury is a real tough one.
God,
that is like, and now I can. First time, you know, you're waiting. You know, when you remember watching it in the theater, like with the loud ass sounds and everything, you're like, you know, they keep putting an emphasis on her planting. You know, you see the knee scars at the beginning, so you know she gets a knee injury. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for that moment. And that they did that fascinatingly. Obviously not on Zendaya's knee, but practically it's like an animatronic sort of thing that they used to, like, they made a fake leg and then used it to, like, plant and snap like that.
It was.
So yeah, it's terrifying. I mean, it's awful to look at. It is awful to look at. And then, like, even when it is, you know, Mike Faced runs onto the court and jumps over the net and comes to her side and stuff, like, the way her knee looks in that moment is horrifying too, by the way. When she's just kind of curled up crying and stuff. That's a rough one. That's a real rough one. And that's a moment that has always resonated with me pretty particularly, because the moment she has with Art immediately after that, they cut to where, you know, she's training, and she's like, come on, don't take it easy on me, let's go. And he finally gives in and takes it there, and she can't handle it. Like, things are just not the same anymore. She's never going to be the same again. You know, you could still be good. You know, you could still be good, but you won't be as good. I obviously had a similar thing when I had to have multiple knee surgeries. I had a specific moment where I had to go tell the football coach, like, yeah, I'm not playing next season. You know, like, I went out, I told him we just won state. It was huge. Like, we were super happy. And then I had my knee surgery, and I was like, so I won't be back next season, you know? And I had to go, I walked over to the basketball courts off of Wilbur Young, the Wilbur Young Park right there, and I sat on the bleachers, and I had the exact same moment Zendaya had. So, like, the first time I watched this movie just made me fucking cry, because I was like, I've never watched something that's so specifically related to something so specific that happened to me. Like, whenever she's walking around, she's like, I'm fine, I'm okay. And, you know, he just hugs her. I was like, fuck. Yep. I was like, I know exactly what's happening. It tore me the fuck up,
Not
man.
good. Why did injuries just suck so bad?
Dude,
I mean, it is crazy. Like, another just kind of how love can be so daunting or nice to think of. Like, our bodies just are indestructible at some points, but then also just landing the wrong way, or just one little itty bitty thing is just kind of all it takes. And I'm lucky enough to never have that gruesome of an injury.
I mean, I am too. I didn't have it wasn't an occurring event that caused me to have knee surgery, which I'm incredibly thankful for. I have had several knee injuries in the past. Like, I've torn my MCL and my meniscuses and all the good stuff. All the ligaments, they've been ripped once or twice.
But
nothing that was like, structurally you will never be the same, you know, like, that's the kind of shit Tashi was rocking with. Like, there's a bone snapping in there, which is horrifying.
Which a crazy revelation that was made to me on Thanksgiving break. The injury that I had in swimming, that my shoulder, I thought I just tore ligaments. My shoulder was out of place completely after an x-ray, and it was just put back correctly in place for the first time since freshman year of high school, I guess, which maybe, I guess they said, who knows if it just slips out or whatever. But they said it's been, I don't know, probably not been good for my structural
10
growth.
10 years your shoulder has been out of place? That's fucked.
And they think that, that's why my rib is kind of bulging out in one area, and I've been overcompensating it for about 10 years.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, whenever it got popped back in, I could breathe like twice as much in one breath. Like, it was actually kind of nuts.
You were like, this is affecting a lot of things, huh?
So the guy who shall not be named, you know, just really, I thought the damage was done, but wow, I didn't think it'd be this long lasting. But
right,
yeah, I don't know. So it's been nice to be on the other end of it. I don't know. It's been I just can breathe, and I feel like it's changed a whole lot, which is kind of crazy. So it was kind of, I never had that moment where it was like, you know, I know I'm done, you know, I guess. And I didn't have like sit by the tree or whatever, anything like that. But,
dude, yeah. But it sucks too. You know, like, no matter what, it sucks, you know,
injuries,
like, I had a similar thing with my knees, because it was just slowly over the course of time. Like, I walked with a limp for like 10 years, prior to me getting my knee surgeries. And I got my knee surgeries when I was 15 and 16.
Man. Yeah.
So, like, you know, and people would be like, why are you limping? And I'm like, I'm not, you know, like, I don't feel like I'm limping, you know, like, it's just, it doesn't hurt. I don't think it hurts, you know? And then, like, I healed, and I was like, oh my God, it fucking hurt. You know, I'm like, I didn't realize it hurt. I've been walking like this for years, and I didn't know it fucking hurt, because I just got so fucking used to, I thought that's what walking felt like, you know? I'm like, that's insane, you know? So, like, that is one of those moments that just every time I watch it, Luckily, this time I was watching it walking on a treadmill, so I had a little bit of something to feel good about.
There we go.
I was like, hey, there we go.
Man, does this movie have the workout energy, or just make you want to like just get
Reznor
shit together?
And Ross fucking cook, dude.
Man.
Their score. I will not be surprised if it doesn't win the Oscar. I think it wholeheartedly should though. Like it's that good.
Like, because Dune isn't up there. Like, it can't be up there, right?
Yeah.
They said it can't. So, like, what
it's
else
officially been disqualified
this year is, I mean, at least to me, my popular pop culture brain, it just seems that it'd be Challengers or Dune for the score. And then now knowing Dune can't even be part of it, it feels like it's kind of
like a no-brainer,
an easy win. At least if I were to choose.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good contenders, but I mean, like Challengers is just so easy to listen to for me. Like one of the ones that comes to mind is The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot score is so fucking good. That animated movie that came out a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And then just going off like previous winners and stuff. The guy who made All Quiet on the Western Front a couple years ago that got like a ton of accolades. Edward Berger, he directed Conclave, which just got released to streaming recently. He won score for All Quiet on the Western Front, which was complete and utter bullshit. There's no fucking shot he deserved that. Holy shit, did he not deserve that win? He was going up against John Williams for The Fabelmans. He was going up against Babylon. No clue. Zero fucking clue how he won score. So, that being said, this score was better than All Quiet on the Western Front by the same guy in a year with less contention. I have a feeling it's going to go to, what's his name? Volker Bertelmann for the Conclave. That's just my guess, or for Conclave.
It's honestly not a bad guess, is the thing. Like, your logic seems right. I just really hope.
The Academy's not logical, though, most of the time. Like, you ever have that shit where, like, one of the things that pisses me off the most at award shows, and this rarely happens, but it does happen, is, like, whenever something is nominated for Best Picture, or Best Album, or Best, Record of the Year, or whatever, and then within its own subgenre, it's one of the nominations. Best rap album, best R&B album. And it's the only one nominated from that subgenre. It should win that award, right?
Yeah.
If it is nominated for Best Picture and it's the only one nominated in this subcategory, it should probably win that award, right? It usually does, but there have been times where it hasn't, and if it happens, bro, that gets on my fucking nerves. I'm like, what are you even doing here then? Sorry, that's just a pet peeve of mine. And like I said, I might be making up something to get mad at, but I know it has happened. It happened at the Grammys in like 2016, 17, 18, somewhere in that region, and it permanently fucked me up. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah,
dude.
This fits the general. This is the best general thing of the year, but not the best rap thing that was made. Sorry, we can't agree on that or whatever it happened to be. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Pisses me off.
But no,
and the Oscars, they don't have those subcategories and stuff, so it doesn't really happen for them. But it does happen for the Grammys, and it pisses me off. There's a similar thing that happens with the Oscars where, a good example is All Quiet on the Western Front. Actually, it was nominated for Best Picture, and neither here nor there whether or not it was like well earned or anything. I think it's a solid movie, and I enjoyed it a great deal. But it dominated technical categories. Like it won score, it won costume, it won it won lighting and sound and all the things that make a movie, it won. But it didn't win Best Picture. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like
nope.
So it's just one of those things where like it's just such an interesting line to draw, and that's why like I say all that to say that the Academy is illogical most of the time. Now, obviously, I'm not going to complain. Everything Everywhere All at Once won that year, so I'll take it.
That's okay. This has to win.
I mean, they made the right choice. I don't think All Quiet on the Western Front should have won Best Picture, mostly because I don't think it should have won all those other categories. But
Yeah, this at
Neither
least
here nor there.
music.
Sorry to make this an all quiet front episode, but
No, this is at least like music. I think it should definitely win. I guess I just don't like for performances and I'm trying to think of other categories that it could be nominated for
yeah,
here.
I mean, I think an original screenplay nod I wouldn't be mad at. I would have said, I think the editing is just a little too out there for the Academy to be like, yeah, we love that. But Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Editing, and it's kind of notoriously not a particularly well edited movie.
Okay.
So that's what, like, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how much like. Are they going to respect a big swing like this, or are they going to go, your swing didn't pay off? You know, it's kind of how I look at it, and that you just never know. But more than anything, what it did make me realize was that the screenplay itself is really good. It's the editing that might bring it down a notch.
Yeah.
Like the story editing itself might kind of make it feel like it's a muddied screenplay, but I don't think it is. I think there's a lot of, through lines and dots connected, and there's just a lot of stuff that makes the screenplay really strong. I would love a Zendaya lead actress nom.
Yeah,
I would adore that.
Of other actress, just performance. Like that's my 2024 movies is still not up there. I still don't have.
No, yeah, my other four nominees. I actually have a notes app, Oscars of my own, so I can go through. You haven't seen any of the other four movies I have listed.
Okay,
any of the other four actresses. Angelina Jolie should get nominated for Maria. Lea Seydoux should get nominated for The Beast. Beyond that, I don't have any particular that has to happen. The year that it's particularly weak for me is supporting actor, which is why Josh O'Connor should be getting a fucking nom, man. And if he doesn't get a nom, it's outrageous. I think right now he's my winner.
My winner.
The only other ones I can think of are Chris Hemsworth, Furiosa.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to see both. I mean, I hope they both get nominated up there. I mean, yeah, but I'd probably go with Josh O'Connor here if I had to. I don't know. Furiosa, I was real high. I mean, maybe I just do need to watch it again, but it's been the only one that's kind of been like, I guess I can put this movie over it. But it's still at, I don't know, 6 or 7, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
so
same.
It's still quite up there.
It's still really high. Well, and that's the other thing too, is that I think that director, I think Luca Guadagnino deserves a director nod for this. However, the movie Queer just came out. His next movie just came out. He released 2 movies this year.
Whoa. In the same, is that the same Academy year? Yeah, I guess. Wow, it would.
Yes, it's the same Academy year. And that one is looking like a much larger awards darling than Challengers is going to be. Daniel Craig is leading it. It's written by Justin Kuritzky's also, who did this. It's edited by the same people. It's scored by Reznor and Ross. It's shot by the same guy. It is the same creative team, essentially, just with a different movie. So I really need to see Queer as soon as possible.
Oh, man, they're Reznor and Ross. I was a little bit scared for just 9 Inch Nails to be. I don't know. I think it was just the way it was announced that who would be making the next Tron soundtrack. But after this, I don't know. I am in no worry. I mean, I don't know. Even for a movie like Challengers, it kind of already sounds like Tron a little bit in some of the songs. It kind of some of them could already fit. And I mean, I've seen people that have taken Challengers soundtracks and put them in Dune, and it kind of made the scenes better. I don't know, it kind of added a whole different.
It definitely
thing.
makes them more it's an electrifying soundtrack, man. Like that Match Point on the track list, which is what's playing during their final set, is fucking electric. That shit gets me going, and I mean, there's so much to love about this movie. It's so bizarre. The last couple years, when I come away from the year, I'm going, well, my favorite movie of the year, it's gonna get nominated for Best Picture. Last year it was Past Lives. The year before that, Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Fabelmans. It's that's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. I have little faith Challengers will get nominated for Best Picture. And that's just because of I think it's just kind of growing used to what knowing the Academy to a degree. Like, I will be pleasantly surprised if this does well in the nominations category, you know?
Yeah.
I think it'll do pretty well during award season in the build-up to the Oscars. It's already done relatively well. It's locked in some nominations. Let's see. Award season has officially begun. Like the Critics' Choice Awards and all that good stuff have already happened.
Okay.
So the next 3 months are going to be fun. But let's see. What are some big ones? Critics' Choice Awards. It was nominated for Best Score, nominated for Best Editing, nominated for Best Original Screenplay, and Best Song. Which is the credit song. Compress. Repress. Got nominated at the Golden Globes for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, Best Performance by a Female Actor, Zendaya, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song. So we could probably count on a Best Original Song nominee, it looks like. It got nominated for a Grammy for Best Score Soundtrack.
Let's go. Yes. Reznor and Ross, give them all. Give them it all. I don't know. They seem like they got some juice to them, because not even the electrifying parts, like even the kind of like slower, mysterious, or like
I mean, when she's sitting under the fucking when she's sitting under the tree, man, there's like that chorus, that choral sound where it's like a children's choir, it sounds like, is singing, you know, like that's an interesting choice in a movie where the rest of the music doesn't sound anything like that.
And it got me to think about, like, when I was listening to it just downstairs, I don't know, I was just about to start working out, but I didn't yet, and I was like, man, wait a minute. Do they have some of the scenes already there that they then make the song for and know the energy for? Or are they just told we need an intense, you know, like, what's the order of operations of making a soundtrack?
I think that varies. I think that varies production to production. I think most of the time the movie is laid out kind of. They've edited it the way they want it to be edited, and then the music is made to fit it. They don't edit a scene to fit music, I don't think, but
yeah, it's probably more on the editor's job to really make it fit the music rather than the music fitting what's already 100%. There. Yeah, so okay, 100%. Yeah, because man, there's like I don't know, it's just kind of like a flare. I don't know what instrument it is, but it's just like
we disconnected. I'm sorry, folks.
We back. Okay.
Drop you for a second. You're all good. I didn't stop the recording or anything.
All right, yeah, we're still good here. But I was just like, I don't know what instrument it is, but kind of like whenever it like or just like it just kind of like everything comes together at once and does this little flare up. Yes. Yeah. And just, I don't know, it's when things are either getting really intense or like a revelation's made, and then I don't know, just like the little like mysterious kind of like spy, I don't know, kind of just very, I'm trying to think of how it goes, or like to kind of do it with my voice, but I don't know, it's just this like very slow, and I don't know, devious is kind of the word that comes to mind, or just kind of like
like whenever she's about to go meet up with Patrick and stuff. Yeah, like there's some good stuff.
They just
man.
Have the moments for everything, like, and that's crazy to me that it's just like, yeah, we just need these emotions, I guess, you know, to come, or I don't know, I'm wondering like what they're told, or if they just kind of make a bunch of music and then it's slowly dwindled down to the soundtrack they want or something like that. But I don't know, just it seems they fit every moment perfectly. And even, I don't know, my shot actually comes from very early on. I think this is my favorite shot. And it's whenever Art is walking out for the first match that he actually loses against a scrub. And he's doing his whole pregame, he spits the gum into, Tashi's hand.
Yeah.
And he's walking just out of the room, and he's walking out, it's in super slow motion, the soundtrack's just going, and then when he gets to the end of the hall, finally the focus pulls back to on his face, and it's right as he turns around to look at Tashi too, and then the music does that little kind of I think, like right in that moment too. It was just all just coming together, and I mean, it was
there's some good, I love it, man, and it's a good looking movie too. And I think that it was similar to The Holdovers, where I didn't give it enough credit for how good it looked. I think I was kind of, I didn't like it. I didn't love it in spite of the way it looked by any stretch of the imagination. I could tell, I knew it looked good earlier this year, but like I didn't realize how good. I think
Hmm.
that I've watched another Luca film since then too. I watched his Suspiria remake during the Halloween season. So good,
Mm.
and he worked with Sayombu Muktipram for that as well, the cinematographer. And I am going to dive into that guy's filmography
Mm.
as a director of photography because I love the way that he lights scenes. He's so good at the light is never harsh. It's always really, really soft. Like there's a moment whenever Josh O'Connor is underneath Zendaya on her bed and the light coming in through the blinds is like tailoring her arm.
Mm.
It's like going straight down her arm
Ooh.
and nothing else. And that's
Mm.
that's it's crazy specific. And I don't know how intentional that is, but feels like it has to be pretty
Hmm.
intentional. And it looks gorgeous. And right before the shot you chose, there's it's Art
Ooh.
sitting there on the bench, and he kind of looks over at her as the sun comes through the window and
Hmm.
hits his face, and he just kind of glows. And
Mm.
the way that Zendaya looks on the beach side,
Oh, dude. Oh my
whenever they're
God.
talking, I mean, holy shit, she's glowing.
Hmm.
She's fucking glowing.
Yep.
And that's not because Zendaya is just a beautiful woman, which she is.
Hmm.
That's because of the way they photograph
Yeah.
her. That's because of the way they are choosing to make her look. And it's working, man. She's against that dark backdrop and the
Hmm.
black sea with the flickering white of like the
Hmm.
stars and
That blue
all that.
dress
It's
that's
it's
like a
gorgeous.
little
It's
reflective
gorgeous.
too. It's got like just little
Yeah.
glimmer of things, and oh yeah, that was the other potential for a shot. And then that was just kind of the early potentials. And then I don't think to the degree that the holdovers, like I looked at that movie and I'm like, oh my God, like just kind of
No, that's genuinely an
like
unbelievably good
whoa.
looking movie.
But this, I mean, still like it was more. I already liked how the movie looked, and then but now it was just enhanced. I was just like, oh wow, like
Hmm.
they're doing some pretty cool stuff. Like I think everyone
Well,
notices the like like the cool tennis shots, of like when it's the GoPro or
yeah,
like
I
it's
mean,
the first
I had no
person.
choice but to go with a cool tennis shot.
Mm.
Mine's the under the court shot. I've
Oh.
always loved it. Ever since
Mm.
the first time we saw it, the like view with the
How?
lines on the screen and all gorgeous,
How
gorgeous
did
stuff.
they
They
do
just
that? Like the
they
one with
literally built
both
a
of them.
glass tennis court,
Oh, no shot. They were literally just
Yeah.
under it. They were
Yeah, they were literally under it shooting up.
because
Yeah.
I was like, how? Whenever it was just like one side of the court, or like it was just Art like bouncing the ball in his shoe, and I'm like, okay, that's just small enough where it could be like a one window, and they're under it. But there was the shot of both of them playing, like, and it was the
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
court, and I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on a second, I'm like, that that doesn't break, that's like, I don't know, that's a big piece of glass. Like I just want to
Big piece.
see that
Big.
set. I just want to see how they did that. That's incredible. But no, yeah, the
Yeah, because like the POV shot where you are the tennis ball, like
mhm.
that's they've broken that down quite a few times. It's just entirely CGI,
Oh, okay.
which kind of has to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a great CGI
Huh.
sequence. It looks incredible. Um,
Man, yeah, but that under the core, like, it hit on this watch. I kind of just like, how? I don't know. Like I'm just like, wait, what? Like, even if
there are
it
just so like that ending is just building and
oh.
building and building and building, and you're already so in there, and they're showing you these gorgeous shots like that, and
Mm,
like the way it
the
intensifies with the
sweat
POV shot, and
too is
whenever the sweat
mm,
dripping whenever the guy bounces Art the ball and he catches it and he's
mm.
locked the fuck in,
Oh.
like
He does.
let's go.
Yeah, he barely moves his hand. He put his hand out, and I mean, good on the ball boy or ball girl that bounced it. I mean, dime
Yeah.
of a bounce there. But yeah, it was, man, that I don't know. It goes down to, I guess, my line that I'll end up picking. It's tennis is a relationship. For about
Mm.
15 seconds there, we were actually playing tennis and we understood each other completely. So did everyone watching. It was like we were in love, or we didn't exist. We went somewhere really beautiful together. And I think in this one, you kind of said like the threesome that was to be was like the whole movie kind of rolled into one. And I feel like this if there's a line where everything's kind of rolled
Oh
into
yeah.
one, it's right here. Like it's either they are all in love together, or they just kind of don't exist together, because if it's going in the wrong direction, they try to constantly backstab each other and like to fight over each other for the love, instead of realizing that if they all just work together, then they can create something a whole lot better. Like this, in my head now, my like headcanon is that they both, like, I don't know, maybe they play doubles again, I don't know, or like they continue their career with this like fire. I don't know, and this is what makes them good. Like this, it seemed that this was like Art's first time of him truly coming out of his shell, like playing wise. Like this was,
in his entire career.
Yeah. He's always been holding back like the whole time, and now boom, he was about to retire, but now it's like, no, you just played the best tennis of your life against the person that you've never been able to beat too. And like, it doesn't even matter who wins that match. I think, obviously.
God, I love the editing of the sequence whenever they're just going back and forth. The ball's not even touching the ground. It's just bop, bop, bop,
and
bop, bop.
the crowd, it goes to the
They're
crowd.
going to the crowd,
like,
standing up and everything. Like, dude, it is
like,
electric. Come on. Yeah, like I can't get it. Like I'm tempted to go with "Come On" as my line, because that ending just fucking fires me up, dude. I don't think I've ever had a bigger, stupider smile on my face throughout the entire time of a movie the way that I have with this one. But my line that I will go with, if not "Come On," is actually just because I think it's an incredible. Like, it's so fucking funny, and it's during the sequence when he's like, I'm gonna ask you something, you're not gonna like it, will you be my coach? And he's like, I have a shot at this thing, I've got 1 year left, I've got 1 good year left in me. And she goes, you're 31, you have a better shot with a handgun in your mouth.
Damn.
I've always thought that is the funniest fucking line in this movie. It is so goddamn funny.
Yeah, they really, they throw down some harsh lines in there eventually, but no, yeah, that one was just hilarious. And yeah, that scene too, that's an incredible scene. Like them just in an alleyway. It's simply just two people in an alleyway.
Zendaya does some of the best facial acting you'll ever see in your life. That utter fucking confusion that she has, and then kind of forcing it, and like purposefully forcing it. Yep. It's so wild as an actor to have to force your performance because your character is forcing themselves to act a certain way.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, that they're literally acting differently than they normally would, but their normal acting is still a different person that doesn't even exist. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God, the layers.
It's incredible. Like, it's incredible. Like, and so all the more credit to her for that just bewildered face she makes. Are you fucking kidding me? I absolutely love it. And Zendaya, she's utterly fucking incredible, man. I love her so dearly, and she does such a fantastic job as Tashi. And I think that Josh O'Connor is the highlight performance wise, but and this is an interesting line to draw. I think you could make either dude played by anybody. But you kind of need Zendaya to be played, or you kind of need Tashi to be played by Zendaya.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, she's the load-bearing weight of this movie. I think, and I do think Josh O'Connor's the best. And I said that, like, who knows how good this movie works if somebody else is playing either of those two roles either. I don't really believe that. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's I'm trying to make a point about how she is the central figure for what makes this movie tick. And if she's not in it, I think that the movie is exponentially not as good.
Oh man, I'm trying to Gladiator 2, All of Us Strangers, I think,
Paul Mescal.
Yeah, I could totally see Paul Mescal in here.
I could absolutely see Paul Mescal
him
in this also.
Fucking it up. Yeah, he would do fantastic. Yeah, I think.
Oh God, I would love if Paul Mescal was in it.
So I think it. Not to say the guys didn't do a good job, but I'm trying to think
not by any
of
stretch.
Another
Like I said, Zendaya is not my favorite performance in the movie. Like my favorite performance is one of the guys. I just think that there's a reason you need someone who is as perceivably godlike, goddess-like as Zendaya. You know, like
Yeah.
you need someone who is believably
Because
worshipable.
even
You know,
Furiosa, like Anya Taylor, like I love her. We did a whole spotlight on her, but I don't know if
yeah.
she
No,
quite has
I don't
that.
think there's. I don't. There's a bizarre air that Zendaya possesses that is, you know, it's more than an actress.
Mm.
You know, it's more than
Mm-hmm.
she is an actress, but when she pops up in things, it's almost like wow, she's acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
That.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's not like it's so bizarre. Like because she is an
Sure.
actress, but it feels like she's not. That's not what she just does. You know, like I don't even know how to explain that. I don't even know how to begin to explain that thought process. But like,
Wow.
it almost feels like a
Yeah.
fucking side hustle
Mm-hmm.
that she just happens to be acting, and she happens to be an
God
award
dang.
contending actress. Like she happens to be that good at this.
Yeah. This is. I mean, I I still can't believe people not saying this movie's hot as I'm just scrolling through these pictures and even just
Oh my
still
god.
frames of the movie
It's
are
so fine.
are just
It's so fine. I mean,
unbelievable.
like I was, I was pretty confident. I have a really interesting relationship with my own sexuality where I didn't realize I wasn't straight until I was with Emily,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm with Emily, and I'm gonna be with Emily for the rest of my life. So I don't really have an opportunity to explore that, nor do I have a desire to, because I'm with Emily. Like I'm set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just comfortable knowing that that's the case. I'm also attracted to men. Cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but because of that, there are times whenever I'm like, well, am I just saying that? You know, am I doing the
Yeah.
classic? Am I doing the classic thing that all the old people accuse our entire generation of,
Mm.
where they're like, well, everybody's bi, you know, everybody's bi, you
Mm-hmm.
know, da, 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 everybody wants to be, so they can say and they don't have to do it. Yeah, sure, sure. And then I'll watch a movie like this and I'll
Mm.
be like, oh, never mind, no, for sure,
Mm-hmm.
there's no doubt there, huh? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. It.
I'll Josh O'Connor, like there is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember I sent a video of, it was just a tweet. It was
Mm.
a video of Mike Faced. I sent it to Emily, and I was like, no man makes me feel more attracted to men than Mike Faced. Like there's
Mm.
something so fucking beautiful about him. I
Mm.
don't even know what it is, but I just know for a fact that I think he's one of the most beautiful people alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
He looks like a
like
Greek
so,
statue in this movie. I
oh
mean,
my
just
god, he's gorgeous.
the
He is
dude.
gorgeous. Like Josh O'Connor has a more rugged,
Mm.
like raw sexual
Mm-hmm.
feel to him.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Face is pretty.
Yeah.
Mike Face is a pretty fucking guy, and
Yeah.
I love that guy. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then Zendaya is just obviously just another fucking level. She's just beautiful. Like that you put her in a room with anybody, and she's the most beautiful person in the room. So it's just kind of, it's unfair.
Yeah, this. I mean, to say that any guy could have been dropped in, but man, I think they nailed. I don't know, they kind of just nailed it here with these three. Like the chemistry they had. Just I don't. Maybe Paul Mescal would have done great, but maybe the chemistry between him and Zendaya wouldn't have been as good. As Josh O'Connor's or whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of with you there. Of just sexuality in general. I honestly still got no clue. I think I'm
Right.
just a human lover. I think in general,
Yeah.
I'm just I do like the humans. And I don't know. I guess I am open. I don't know. I don't have anyone locked down. So I guess I'm just kind of
Right.
seeing where life takes me as of right now. Is kind of the vibe. But yeah, no, this movie is it still is. There's still something in there. I don't know. There's it's not 100%. There's no way anyone. I don't think anyone's completely 100%
I'm with
either
you on
way.
that. I'm
But
with you on that.
it's just how comfortable you are at admitting it. I feel like is
Yeah,
what it comes down
and
to.
not just admitting it, but opening yourself up to that a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and it's not something that I feel like everybody has to do by any
Sure.
stretch. I'm not like,
Yeah.
you have to do it, do it.
Yeah.
No, not by any stretch. If it's something that you never go, well, because like I remember being in high school, and the hypotheticals that people would constantly
Mm-hmm.
just trot out there.
Mm.
How much money would it take for you to do this?
Yep.
Not that much at all.
Yeah.
Actually, none. In fact, like I'm like, not like that doesn't sound awful to me. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird, I don't know. If I could just go back, I feel this is a common hypothetical, but just to go back and have one conversation with myself, oh my gosh, how different my life would be.
Oh, dude.
But no, it's through all of this. I think that's, the point of the ending here too, is that they did have their
Bro, if
struggles.
I could go back in time,
Mhm.
if I could give myself one fucking thing
Mhm.
to be like, do that, bro, I would have been a theater kid in a fucking heartbeat, dude. I would have been a theater kid so fucking fast it's not even funny. Like, if I could be like, this is what you'll be into in 10 years time.
Yep. Damn, I could have seen
You know, and like, I'm
Interstellar
super
in
thankful for
IMAX.
everything I've done. Yeah, I'm super thankful for everything I've done and everything that led me to this point and all that good stuff. And obviously, butterfly effect. You know what happens? Da 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 da. Fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I could have fallen in love with all the stuff that I've fallen in love with since high school, in high school, it's just an even longer lifetime of my passions that I possess now.
Yeah,
you know,
I would just
like
gift myself A-list at age 10, you know, just be like, all right, from age 10 on,
have fun.
and the rest
Go
of your
nuts.
life, boom, that's all you need. I mean, because, man, the movies I would have been in the theater for, you know, is crazy,
Dude.
but we just didn't, I don't know, wasn't quite there yet. Movies, it only mattered if it was a Toy Story, a Pixar movie, you know, basically a Pixar movie or a Marvel movie.
Marvel.
Was basically it. That's all. But now, no. It's like it's the polar opposite, surprisingly. And I just want, I don't know, I can itch that nerve again and get in the theater. It's been very, very nice. And man, this one was quite the theater experience too. I mean, watching this movie in a packed theater, like,
awesome.
I can't remember how packed our theater was, or if it was really packed even in the first place for Challengers.
It was pretty. We had some folks in there. It was Sunday, you know, Sunday opening weekend. It was a pretty big deal. It's Zendaya, and you know, it was a pretty big deal. And I remember just like audible, like, ooh, you know, like whenever she like cracks her knee and stuff. The next day when I went back with Emily, we had a couple walkouts, which is always fun.
Oh, wow! What do you remember when, or was like there a specific moment that
I remember exactly when, and that's what was funny, you know, like because like it's funny scanning. I always scan a crowd whenever I walk into any public place that has a lot of people at it in America, because that's where we're at, and I'm always just kind of like, so who do I need to be worried about in here a little bit? You know, and there was nobody that I was like, no, but there was an older couple who I have to guess was 50s, would be nice, probably 60s.
Okay.
You know,
yeah, they're not liking it. Probably.
And I was like, they think they're watching a tennis movie. You know, like they think they're watching a sports film. And because they got all the way through the not three-way, you know, they got all the way through that, and that was fine.
Okay.
You know, it's all good. But then they get to the part whenever Josh O'Connor's in the locker room swiping on Tinder and dudes are walking around with their dicks out, and they're like, okay, that's enough. I'm good.
A men's locker room? Really?
A men's locker room did it. A men's locker room did it.
I feel like that's in straight movies, you know? I don't know. Like, that's...
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
That's wow. Interesting.
That's why I was like, I don't think it was inherently, I don't think it was not homophobic, but I don't think it was inherently due to the gayness of the movie. I think it was just kind of like, well,
just
because Emily's, this might be, Emily's the same way. Like with movies, she's like, if I'm watching a movie that I know they show a dude's dick in, I'm to warn her if it's about to happen.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want to see a dude's dick. You know, I don't want to see
That's
it.
fair.
I'm good. That's another thing, you know, I am notoriously, in previous relationships I've had, I'm not a super trusting person, because I got cheated on once, and that'll fuck you up forever. You know, like I was like, yeah. So I have never, ever been more secure in my life than with Emily, because there is not another man on earth I am concerned she's attracted to. You know what I'm saying? If I died, or if we broke up, she would never date another man again. You know, like that's she date women, pretty exclusively, and like that's it's a weird assurity to have, to kind of be like, in any given room, I am more attracted to a man in that room than she is.
Wow, damn, yeah, whoever's out there, it would be really awesome if you're really attracted to women, and I'm the only man that you find attractive. If you're out there, that'd be
Yeah.
really
I hit the
awesome.
fucking lotto. I hit the
That
fucking
sounds
lotto.
incredible. That I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's also just a very good telling on your character as well. I think
I appreciate it.
just
I
a
appreciate
good
it. Yeah.
sign. But
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin that I've parsed through a lot, gender, sexuality.
mm,
Yep, nope, full-blown man here.
mhm,
I've thought about it. I've been like, am I cuz like in theory I'd like not to be lumped in.
yeah,
But I am.
yeah.
I am.
The
Yeah,
track
I
record's
can't
not
deny
good.
that.
That's
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
we're a rough
Um,
we're a rough sect of the species.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
hey, we could do as much as we can while we can, and
yes indeed.
yeah,
Yes
it's
indeed.
crazy. This simple shoulder relocation has changed. I mean, I'm growing facial hair faster than I've ever done. Like, I think I am feeling what normal testosterone levels are as well for the first time in my
That's
life.
wild.
And it's been really weird because I've had like stupid guy thoughts. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm like, "Oh my God, I want to just fucking go."
Like, oh my
I
god, oh my god, I'm a dude.
it's so I don't know. It's so weird. I'm like, wait, this is not how my brain normally go. I'm like, these are not my normal thoughts, and
You're
I
like,
can't
wait,
place
there's
anything
more
else.
oxygen reaching my
Yeah,
brain. This is insane.
it's wild. Everything's just kind
Yeah,
of
no, that is wild.
firing better. So I mean, but yeah, I'm in the same camp there. It's not a good
Yeah, I'm
camp
like,
to be in, but hey,
no, not a good, not the ideal situation from a moral standpoint. But yeah, he him pronouns over here.
I mean,
Yeah, gonna
technically, we got the
and
most lucky we kind of could have
yeah,
gotten.
I mean,
So
yeah, no
I
doubt.
mean,
Like from a social position, a social standing,
mhm,
I am presenting as a man. I look like a man. I am a man. Yeah. So,
mhm.
I'm white. So I'm getting all the
Yeah, I mean,
privilege. I'm getting all the privilege I
you
can.
really hit the lotto. I mean, me too. I'm right there with you. But with the girl too. I mean, you got it really going. That's
I got it going
yeah.
right now. I'm not gonna lie. I feel good about
Mm-hmm.
things. That's why 2024 was a
It's
damn good year for me, man. It
mm-hmm.
was. It was. We stepped it up.
Man.
It was a solid year, and I hope 2025 brings as good tidings as 2024 has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, it's been a goodie. I dropped 110
let's
pounds
go.
over the course of the year, which is insane. Like I'll look at a
Mhm.
picture of myself from fucking March, and I'm
Mhm.
like, holy shit, that was 9 months ago. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Dang. Yeah.
Bought Emily a car,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Man.
that's not cheap.
Adulting. Yeah, I'm not even close.
Yeah,
I'm not there.
and that's something I'm happy to have done.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, do I wish I had that $2,000 on that down
Ah.
payment and the fucking
Mhm.
4 we've put down since on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just and the pod, we saw a little bit of a decrease in downloads, but that forced us to diversify. We've landed on the Cinementalists and Death by Television and all that. So like all in all, I feel really, really good about where we're at, where I'm at. I like you went back to school.
Yeah.
True. You feeling good? You feel good about 2024 for you?
Man, yeah, it's kind of like the end of the movie, kind of like a little rebirth, a little revitalized. I kind of needed this little semester as a little me time, little me semester, but man, I came out pretty proud. Worked all through it too. Had a job going, made some money through school, and I don't know. I think I'm cutting that back a little bit now. I think I worked a little too much.
I was gonna say you jumped in head first,
yeah,
and
maybe
really went for it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much, but that's okay. Through it now, so I think it can only get easier from here. I feel like, but yeah, I know I'm ready for next year, and there's just I don't know, kind of like I don't know. I don't have a thruple or a that realization where I'm finally realizing my loves of my life or anything like that. But I am just
I'm gonna marry 2 people. Yeah, I haven't discovered polygamy, but
yeah, not quite there yet. I guess who knows? I still got a lot of
yeah,
time
who knows what 2025 has in store for you, man.
But but I think as of right now, it's I was closed. I don't know. Now I think I'm back to opening myself up. I'm pretty sure. So
we're back in there. We are back in there, and we will be back in there all throughout 2025. The Cinementalists will be coming at you week after week, for the next year and then some, and the year after that, and a year after that. I can't wait. We've got a lot to look forward to, and we won't be covering a movie for a couple weeks. We're going to celebrate holidays, like we said, and we're going to lump ourselves into those holidays because we are worth celebrating.
Of course,
we're going to have episodes on our birthdays. So our next movie that we're covering will be on January 10th, my 25th birthday. I'm turning 25, which is insane.
Man, we're halfway to 50.
And
yep, we are halfway there.
To 50. Man. Halfway there. And that's like, holy shit, halfway to 50, that's terrifying. But you look at it like, I live my entire life I have so far again, and I'll be at 50.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I don't even remember a few of the first few years, now I'm going to remember all of it, hopefully.
Yeah. Wow. That is a crazy perspective change to put it like I just live my lifetime again that I currently have. And but
exactly. Whew. And then hopefully you live it again after
hopefully
that.
Another whole 50 years. Yeah, hopefully.
That's insane. Yeah, so we got a lot to look forward to, and on January 10th, we will be covering Willow, the late 80s fantasy film from Ron Howard starring Warwick Davis and Val Kilmer. Lucasfilm produced. I'm so very excited. It's my special day, so I got to pick a movie, and Joe will in turn get to pick a movie when his birthday rolls around in March. But besides that, we will be doing our top 100 films of the 2020s so far. It will be a 10-part series, each set of 10. We'll be doing that, and we got 2 episodes a week for you all throughout January, concluding on January 31st, I think, the last day of January, on that last Friday of the month. And that's an interesting poll to talk about going into this rating, because I have little doubt. This is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in that.
There's a battle. There's just one other movie. I'm a sci-fi nerd, but as far as emotions gotten from a movie, this one I feel a lot more than Dune. That's for sure. But the sci-fi nerd
Zendaya,
in me,
though.
man. Yeah, that's true. The constant. Definitely, she is in the top spot. That's for sure. Zendaya.
She won 2024.
Yeah, that's true. Man, she's been killing it. And hopefully it just keeps on going. And man, seeing
I hope so.
the career, I don't know, kind of our actors, or just kind of the group that we have. I'm really happy. Kind of with the rising stars or the groups that we got.
It's incredible.
But yeah.
People are talking about the death of the movie star, but I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Hard to complain. But all that to say that I'm confident for me, this is top 1, maybe 2. We'll see. I'm pretty confident though that this is top 1 of the year for me. I'm also confident simultaneously that it is not top 10 of the 20s.
Yes.
Which is wild. That my favorite movie of this year, I don't think can even breach my top 10 of the decade so far, of the last 5 years.
Wow.
Which bodes really well for my perspective on recency bias. Clearly, it doesn't dominate my thought process that much. But but all that to say that, on Christmas, we gave Holdovers a unanimous 10.
This is true.
I think I give this a 9.75.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling
even
the
as
10,
my favorite movie of the
crazy.
year. Even as my favorite movie of the year. And 9.75 even might be a little nice. I'd be cool with the 9.5 even if you talked me down into it, but my gut takes me 9.75.
9.5 is what we gave Return of the King. That's ending the Lord of the Rings trilogy there. That's a 9.5. Yeah. So that's why I was
it's probably 9.5. It's probably 9.5 then,
but that's
means.
Still 95%. I mean, that is
We're splitting hairs here.
So
yeah.
I mean, that's why whenever I just looked at previous scores, I was like, okay, it's not quite the 10. There is some hesitation. So I'm like, I went to where you went. I'm like, yeah, 9.75. And then I'm like, ooh, Return of the King 9.5. I'm like, I don't know if I can say it's better than Return of the King, but better for I don't know, a whole different kinds of feelings that are going on from movie to movie there, but
Yeah.
I think I can put it on the same footing. That's for sure. I don't think I put it below.
I think I could too.
So
No, I don't think I could either. I think a 9.5 is a comfortable place to land, which is wild. You know, I don't think we've had a year in the past several years, I would say, where I ended up landing in a spot where I don't think I have a 10 in my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just wild. And obviously, there's still some pretty major blind spots on both fronts for us. I don't have a lot of the award contenders under my belt. You know, we mentioned Zendaya in the lead actress category. The headliner right now is Mikey Madison in Anora. Is seeming like she's going to be getting some love. Nicole Kidman is in Baby Girl. Apparently that's really good.
Okay.
The Room Next Door is coming. I didn't see that. Sing Sing, I didn't see that. I like there's a ton of stuff that you know the limited releases that don't find their way to middle America. You know, we'll end up getting access to it within the next couple months ahead of the awards ceremonies. But yeah, no. So maybe I find my 10, but I don't think I have it, and I don't think I will. I think this is going to be a tough one to top for me. And frankly, the only one that gave it a run for my money, you know, Dune 2 is not far off, but mine was Love Lies Bleeding, which we already covered. I loved Love Lies Bleeding, man. That's one of my favorites of the year. Those are my top two right now, are Challengers and Love Lies Bleeding, and I don't know what order to put that in, but I'm pretty confident it's Challengers 1, Love Lies Bleeding 2. And yeah, no, neither are 10s, you know, which is wild.
It's a weird rating anomaly. I don't know. It's just a strange. I think 2024 is just different. I don't know.
2024 has been weird, man. It's good. It's good. You know, like my top few spots, I'm like, man, I love these movies, you know, but I've just loved movies in previous years more, and I know that for sure. But yeah, and we'll have a chance to go through all of that over the next month when we do our top 100 of the 20s so far. I cannot wait. But yeah, with that, I think we will conclude the year on the Cinementalists. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, come on!